The police are investigating a raid on a store in Kettering in the early hours of this morning in which a car was driven through the shop window. Two men drove a white Ford Capri into the front of Tim's in Gold Street and drove off at speed with electrical goods. The weather now. A dry day with the possibility of brighter spells developing during the afternoon. Still feeling cold. The European details now from Ian McCaskill.
Hello. Before we start our daily look around Europe, let me remind you that the visibility in southern England is still below 100 metres in many places, so do drive carefully. Also, before we have a look at Europe, let's come out into the central part of the North Pacific. Why we're excited about this is we have never, ever observed a hurricane in the central North Pacific in January before. So are things changing? It's called Ikeka, and we'll update you. It's still over the ocean, open ocean. Still over Britain, over Europe, a huge area of high pressure giving essentially dry weather, all the weather fronts skirting around the north and all the unsettled weather in the south and in the east, although things improving just a little bit at the moment in many parts of the Mediterranean. You can see those weather fronts on the computer brushing across Scandinavia, down into Eastern Europe, and some showers over North Africa during the course of tomorrow, but a lot of dry, frosty, misty weather in between. And on the temperature chart, you'll see that cold air continuing to sweep down over eastern parts of Europe, as far south as Turkey and the Eastern Med, so continuing very showery and unusually cool in that part of the world for the next week or so, I should think, at least. Coming to Europe in more detail for tomorrow, but a lot of clouds, mild clouds in the north with rain in drizzling places, affecting some northwestern parts of Britain too. Low cloud covering many of the hills on the Pennines as well during the course of tomorrow. Further south, well, showers affecting North Africa and some snow affecting eastern parts of Europe. The rest of Europe, fine with fog patches and a widespread frost.
You're Lovejoy, right? Understand you're selling Bucknell's gongs. Well, I'm here to see them. Hello.
Hello. Looks like your prayers have been answered.
Have you got them with you? Hi, Lucy. It's Fiona for Jeremy, right?
Who's Jeremy?
Just tell him I'm in the sticks with this dealer guy. Prince, the fashion photographer. Vogue, Elle, the Zerba Jeans campaign? No. God, we really are in the elephant grass today. Tell him to hurry up. Anyone ever told you you look like the guy who plays for Chelsea?
Oh, the football team?
No, the band.
All at Sea. Lovejoy on Sunday at 7:45.
Well, in 25 minutes, Miriam Stoppard and Adrian Mills will be meeting more people today, including master magician Paul Daniels and jazz impresario George Melly. First on BBC1, time to put the brakes on our money spending with top-of-the-range advice from Gloria Honeyford and Cashwise.
I've been let loose from the studio this morning, so a very good morning to you and welcome to Cashwise. Now in the programme today we're dealing with car insurance. This summer the insurance companies will be implementing the biggest change in motor insurance for some 25 years, and it could mean for a third of the motorists in Britain an increase of, wait for it, up to 80% on last year's premium. The reason for this colossal increase is the frightening level of car crime, plus the fact the way the cars are rated. For example, at the moment, all cars are divided into 9 groups, but as from the middle of this year, that will increase to 20. And for the very first time, car security is a major factor. Now, the companies say the previous groups were too wide, and that the new system will be more accurate and fairer. But if you're buying a new car, you obviously need to check its new grouping, because the higher the group, the higher the premium. And having bought it, it's a bit late to discover that you can't afford to drive it. You know, another thing to remember is that the car itself isn't the only thing that the insurance companies bear in mind when they're giving you a quote. And here's a rundown on some of the other factors. No wonder the quotes all vary so much. But according to the AA, it costs an amazing £3,200 a year to run the average family car, which includes depreciation, but doesn't take into account the cost of a loan. Well, you may well be able to cut a few of the corners by saving on your insurance. So on this week's Cashwise assignment, we invited two of our viewers, that's Darren Laurie and Corin Fogelman from Nottingham, to put the companies to the test.